right, what's going on, everyone? We are back with another edition right before Championship Sunday. Before we get into our picks, though, breaking news just a few minutes ago, James. We were just talking about that before I started recording. Just wanted to make sure my laptop was plugged in. The Eagles could have their next head coach. I don't know. I don't think it's officially official.
It
but
is official.
Have the Eagles tweeted that or anything?
I believe so.
Until that happens, I'm not calling it officially official, but Rappaport and everyone else, Schefter, are all saying that it's going to happen, so I expect it to happen. But it's, I forget his name, Sirianni, is that his name?
Nick Sirianni.
Nick Sirianni, who's the OC with the Indianapolis Colts. I want to know your thoughts. You said you really didn't have any feelings.
So I'm indifferent on it right now. I was a big McDaniels guy, but I understood how volatile that situation could have been. Still wanted him because I know he calls a great offense. I've heard really good things about Nick Sirianni. He's from the Frank Reich coaching tree. Frank Reich was really successful here in his time.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he's been in the league for a little. I know everybody's going for the young guy, and we got a young guy. But,
yeah, because I want to talk about that because yesterday you shit on hiring young coaches, and here you go hiring a 39-year-old.
But he's been in the league for over 10 years.
True. Yeah, he dates back to I think 2009. He was with the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's what I'm saying. So I actually like the youth. That's what I was saying yesterday. But I'm saying I don't like we gotta hire a young guy. We gotta get a guy in his 30s, and it's because of Sean McVay. That was my whole point. So I like the fact that he's young but not too young. He's been around the NFL. I like the fact that he's been around the NFL for a long time because I think he's going to be able to get a pretty good staff together. And that's what I'm waiting for to give a real reaction on this. I'm indifferent. The Eagles have a strong history of going outside of the usual candidates.
Yeah.
Chip Kelly was pulled out of their ass. Andy Reid, nobody even interviewed except the Eagles. He's the greatest coach in franchise history. Doug Peterson, they said that was one of the worst hires ever. He was a great coach, went to the playoffs 3 times.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I love the Doug Peterson hire.
No, it was great. And I think this is a very similar hire. I think that they were saying he has the temperament of a Doug Peterson, but he can coach you hard. And I was watching some videos on him coaching Phillip Rivers and coaching some of the wide receivers. He's a specialty quarterback and wide receiver coach.
That's what Philly needs right now.
That's what we need. Listen, man, I'm cool with it. I just want an adult in the building. Not that Doug wasn't. I just want an adult in the building. New voice. I want some new, fresh ideas in the building. I'm glad we're going to just get a completely new staff in there. That's what they need. So right now, indifferent, but definitely not upset about the hire. When they said yesterday, I got an update that was Sirianni's getting, they're pretty much going to talk to him the next day again. I said, there it is. I was like, they're probably going to hire him because if they wanted Joe, dude, they interviewed Joe Brady 2 weeks ago. They interviewed Josh McDaniels a week and a half ago. It's I knew they were in on Sirianni. I can't wait to hear the press conference on sort of the reasoning. But, I'm cool with it right now.
You have talked me into this. At first, I was like, what the fuck? Because, at first, I started thinking about it, and I was like, this just sounds like they're trying to get some magic back. So, what I mean by that is, ever since they got rid of Andy Reid, the Eagles, I would say the divorce has been fair for both sides. Both have won a Super Bowl. But the Eagles haven't really been the same. They sucked under Chip Kelly.
Yep.
Peterson led them to greatness, but even then, obviously the downfall.
See, that was the great part about Andy Reid is he could sustain greatness. Yeah, we didn't win a Super Bowl, but they were never a bad team under Andy Reid except 1 year. Never.
So, where I was going with that was, you got rid of Andy Reid, you hired Chip Kelly, clearly a huge mistake. You can't get Andy Reid back, so what do? They go poach one of his assistants in Doug Peterson. Yep. Then Doug Peterson happens, wins you a Super Bowl. Then I'd argue you get rid of him and you think, well, Frank Reich was really probably the brains of the operation. Arguably. I'm not sure that's totally the case. But, so what do? You go and poach one of his assistants. So that's just what it feels like to me. But I also said, when Green Bay hired Matt LaFleur, I was like, this reeks of us trying to be like the Rams and the 49ers, and it worked out for us.
Worked out for See, that's the thing about draft picks, about dude, you can never know till they play or till they go in. That's why I'd be like, he wasn't in the group of coaches that the media put out that we should be interested in. You know what I mean? It's no, I'm going to, listen, I know Howie Roseman and Jeff Lurie ain't super trustworthy right now, but they have a pretty good track record of hiring coaches. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that. And Sirianni 2 years. Next year's going to be some bullshit. I want to see if he can put in a new culture, make a couple good draft picks. 2022 though, it's ready to go. We better be a playoff team.
I want to see what he does with our boy Carson Wentz. I'm not ready to completely abandon ship, even though I basically have.
I'm fucking livid. I'm livid about that, by the way. I'm livid, dude. I cannot stand the fucking sunk cost analysis that Howie Roseman is constantly doing with Carson Wentz. Just
how Howie Roseman has a job and Doug Peterson doesn't, I have no idea.
Why do you have to win every argument? It's so fucking lame, dude. I cannot stand that motherfucker, dude. Like he's like, oh well, I put this investment in, so we're either gonna sink or swim with it. It's like, no, dude, do your fucking job. But we don't have to talk about the Eagles that much. Sirianni hire, I'm indifferent on it right now. We'll see.
We could go around with some other gossip around the league right now. Obviously, a lot of drama with Deshaun Watson. I meant to talk about that the other day. But yeah, what do you think? I mean, my friends and I got into I don't want to say like a heated argument, but we were at a disagreement where they thought Deshaun Watson has all the leverage, and I was saying I'm not sure he does because of his contract. And then you had Ian Rappaport, I believe, going on Pat McAfee saying he doesn't have as much leverage as everyone seems to think.
Yeah, I mean,
he signed a contract, and it's a no-trade clause contract.
I'm going to tell you right now, Deshaun Watson will be a Jet at the beginning of the season.
Hey, if Joe Douglas can pull that shit off, like, I'd love it.
Dude, let me explain something to you right now. So they have 5 first-round picks the next 3 years.
Yes.
Okay?
It's going to take – I said this because they kept trying to give me they have 5 picks in the first, 3 rounds this year. I'm like, it's going to take more than this year. No, it's going to take 3 years of picks. I'm telling you.
So listen, this is how it's going to work out. I think they're going to have to give Sam Darnold.
Yes, I was just about to say Sam Darnold.
And 3 first-round picks and maybe like a second or a third in there.
Yeah.
Too. But this is the way I look at it. People will sit there and go, oh, well, that's just, that's crazy to give up.
No! We have never seen a quarterback of Deshaun Watson's caliber traded. Like, that drives me insane.
Dude, listen to this, though. They got 2 first-round picks for Jamal Adams. So
yes!
look at it like this. You're trading a first, Sam Darnold, and Jamal Adams for Deshaun Watson. That's a fucking no-brainer. I do that 5 times.
If I'm the Jets, I'm trading away the 2. I'm trading away the 23rd. I'm trading away next year. So I think they had 2 firsts next year. I'd trade away the first the year after that. Like I said, when this whole rumor got started, I was like, this is one of those deals, and I remember Nick Wright saying this, was I would give you a first-round pick for every year I had Aaron Rodgers if I traded for him. That's what it would be with me and Deshaun Watson. I'll give you a first-round pick every year I have him.
Dude, they have the picks. They need the player. It just works out perfectly. They are in a position where they have just an asinine amount of round picks, and it's like, dude, if you can go get a top 5 QB, go get him. And I get it, dude. Like, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, what do you want if you're the Jets? So the Jets just hired Robert Saleh, who I like a lot. Defensive coach, though. Do you really want a rookie quarterback if you're him? I mean,
not at all.
Yeah, I would want a top 5 quarterback in the game right now if I'm him, and especially if I'm a GM. But
dude, the Jets can go from. I still personally think they're worse than the Jaguars, even though they had a better record. They can go from the worst team in the league to probably a 10-win team next year.
Yeah, I'm that high on Robert Saleh.
I wouldn't guarantee 10 wins, but like, there's no way they go under 500 with Deshaun Watson playing quarterback.
I mean, they have a better roster than the Texans. I don't know about that.
But I don't know, man. Houston's just not right for him. He's going to get out of there, and the only team that can just realistically do it without just literally mortgaging the entire franchise, the Jets can get Deshaun Watson without giving up an insane amount.
I think the Jets I'm not sure it'll happen because they're an AFC team, and I don't think the Texans will trade him within the AFC. I'm sorry. But if you're gonna do it for a team that's in another division. I could totally see that happening. I think there's 2 teams that are gonna get him, that could get him at least. One is the New York Jets. The second is the San Francisco 49ers. I think that's it. Like, it's those 2 teams. And even then, the 49ers don't really have the capital to do it.
So, I mean, he's going to get traded. He's going to get traded.
I don't know. I don't know.
and I get it, dude. Like, I know, like, listen, we can't let the players control the league shit, but, like, what ends up happening, dude, it's like, if you have an unhappy player that's going to leave anyway at some fucking point, dude, get all you can for him. If you can get 4 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson, that's worth it to me.
But the thing is, he's locked in for 5 more years.
Yeah.
Like, right? What? 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, so this was the end. He's got a 5th-year option left on top of a 4-year deal. So when you look at the amount of teams that realistically could trade to get him while having the capital to do, or the cap room, I should say, to do it, I think it's like a handful of teams. It's not 10. It's not, any team except for about 4 or 5. And I'm not even sure I could name you 4 or 5 off the top of my head. But 2, I think, are the 49ers and the Jets. I think the Jets are the clear favorite.
No, I agree. And
one of my friends tried to tell me the Jaguars are a team that could get him. And so off the top of my head, I said, no, they're an AFC team. Then the more I thought of it, I was like, wait, they're in the same division. And it never occurred to me.
I'm going to sit here and tell you right now, if I had my choice between Trevor Lawrence on a rookie deal or Deshaun Watson at fucking $38 million,
I'll take Lawrence.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean the Jaguars are going through a massive culture change right now. Hence why they hired Urban Meyer. I don't think you do that if you're just going to trade for Deshaun Watson, which won't happen to begin with. They're not trading him to a division rival. But get someone young like Lawrence. The Jets, though, Joe Douglas, I'd argue, while it's kind of the same thing, they're rebuilding. Joe Douglas is now in year 2, entering year 2 as a GM. 2-14 his first year. The clock's hitting now, kind of, for a GM. Really, you get about 3 years to show what you can do as a GM.
Let me tell you something right now. If Joe Douglas orchestrates I got 2 fucking first-round picks for a safety, and I flip that into Deshaun Watson, he's a fucking genius.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
Great GM.
We have praised Joe Douglas. I liked when they hired him. We're like, we'll see what he can do. He has a good draft. He gets 3 solid players in the first 3 rounds of the draft. Mekhi Becton has a very high ceiling. Ashton Davis, I think the safety, has a high ceiling. He got some players. Then he trades Jamal Adams and gets way more than I thought he would out of it. Then not only that, he hires Robert Saleh, who I thought was the number 2 candidate on the market right now. This should speak volumes about where the New York Jets are headed. It really should.
No, they made the right hire at GM, and listen, man, they're in a better place to be good than in New York. Straight up. There's not. So if they can turn it around, dude, they'll be treated like fucking royalty up there.
I feel like there was something else I meant to talk about yesterday, and I don't remember what. Oh, I know. So it turns out, James, I don't know football as well as I thought. Because I made a huge mistake yesterday. I called Dan Campbell, the special teams coordinator. I could have sworn he was.
I wasn't paying attention at the time, but I knew he was the special teams coordinator.
I could have sworn he was. Wrong, obviously.
Did you see his press conference?
Yeah, I saw that. That's a good fit for Detroit. A franchise that has done nothing.
I love it, dude. At the very least, if you're gonna suck, be a nasty ass team.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if it's going to come to anything.
I don't either. I don't either. I think he's more...
I like the guy, though. He seems like a really cool coach.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know. I don't think I see I see a team that'll play hard, but I see a sloppy team being under him.
I could see that, yeah.
I just don't see him being that very meticulous, super detailed guy. I could be completely
wrong. I think physical team...
Yep.
Try hard. That I think you could expect that, but like you said, X's and O's, meticulous analytics. That doesn't strike me as him at all.
Yeah, and dude, maybe I'm wrong. That's just what I get when I look and hear him talk. I could be completely wrong.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean anything a lot of the time.
I agree. So one more thing I wanted to touch up on before we get into our picks here, James. This is our 100th episode. I don't think it's 100 episodes of us two together. Yeah. But we have reached 100 episodes of this podcast. So pat on the back to us. It took a lot longer than I think we thought, but me going to grad school really slowed things down, having no work at night.
That and I'm also not the greatest person to talk to about things outside of football. I'm here for
that. Yeah, you have told me several times. I would text you in the summer, hey, want a podcast? And you're like, no.
Because it's I legitimately don't know enough about the MLB anymore to give an honest assessment
Yeah.
on it. I don't NBA. I can talk about NBA all day. But,
See, and I'm the opposite. I can't stand watching the NBA
and then
anymore.
hockey, like, I think hockey is the fucking coolest sport ever. Don't listen about it. So I can't like.
I don't really know. I don't pretend to be an expert. Like I'm just like a casual fan of hockey.
Yeah.
I feel like I know football a lot, you know, and can tell you the good players and everything, the coaches, and you know, break it down a little bit, but not hockey. I'm just here because I think it's cool. But yeah, 100 episodes. I mean, if you break it down, I think we're looking at about an episode every like month or something, which is obviously not what we set out to do. But like I said, grad school, going to grad school at night, working at night, that really slowed me down. And I think we really caught up to it this football season. We're podcasting about at least once a week, I'm pretty sure, maybe 2 times a week. There may have been 1 or 2 weeks we didn't get to do it, but we really caught up. But anyway, it's been fun. It's been fun. I hope we can keep doing this.
You know what I can't wait for?
A laptop, so we can actually do this right.
Oh well, that. But I can't wait to see how many fucking first round picks I get right again this year, baby.
Oh yeah. What'd you get? 8 last year?
8 or 9.
I think it might have been as high as 10. I know for sure it was at least 8.
Dude, I got well over a fourth of the picks right.
I think I ended up with 6, which 6 isn't bad,
right,
but
it's like impossible, dude. I got the 32nd pick.
I remember one year, like I said, when it happened. I remember one year, I think it was Mike Mayock for NFL Network before he was hired by the Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, I should say. He got like 10 or 12 or 14 of the picks right. I was like, holy shit, that's another level.
Yeah, it's hard, dude, because you just never know what teams' boards look like. You
Yeah.
don't. I mean, because the media.
I think we're both pretty good at like diagnosing which position they'll target, but that's pretty easy. But yeah, the individual player, no.
First round, if you can understand what position they'll probably go for, and then understand how the board's going to fall, you usually can get a pretty educated guess of who's going to pick. So.
Anyway.
I can't wait. Draft season is amazing.
I know you're excited.
Full-fledged football season, baby. I'm happy for you. That's awesome because 28 other teams aren't. So.
Yep. So let's go ahead and get to the picks here. Let's start with the AFC Championship. We'll save my NFC Championship for last. AFC Championship, Chiefs, Bills. It sounds like Mahomes is going to give it a go. He practiced today with the helmet on. It's looking more and more like he's going to play. I never really thought he wasn't going to play. I was kind of 50-50 on it though. But now it seems like he will. And I'm still pretty 50-50 on it.
He's going to play.
Well, no, I meant I'm 50-50 on the game. Sorry.
Did you see what fucking Calvert said, dude?
Yes! Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
So for those that don't know, Colin Cowherd said, unless we're talking about different things, Cowherd said that they should delay the AFC Championship until Patrick Mahomes is healthy. And I was like, what? First of all, if we're going to play this game, then why don't we do this for every injury that happens in the playoffs? Yeah. Like, oh, hang on, no. I'm a Packers fan, so hang on. The 2 times Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone. No, suspend the season. We can't play unless Aaron Rodgers plays. No, you play the season.
The year Wentz tore his ACL.
Yes.
The Eagles are the best team in the league. Just cancel the season. We'll come back 2018. Like, no, dude, it's football. Everyone gets hurt.
Yes, I agree.
Blame that shit on Andy Reid.
Yeah, I could not believe. I was like, and his only argument was we watch Mahomes or whatever. I'm like, I don't care. I don't like. Yeah. Like it diminishes it when Chad Henne has to go out there against Josh Allen. But I will admit that. But I don't care. Like this is how we set this up. You move on. Next man up.
Yeah, it's football. Oh well. Like I don't know. That was. I'm not kidding. I agree with a lot of the shit he says, but he has some crazy. That is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard him say in like 10 years listening to him. I'm not kidding.
I agree.
Stupid.
Anyway, AFC Championship. Mahomes, Josh Allen, Bills, Chiefs, Reed, McDermott. Who you got?
I see the Bills getting out to a little bit of an early lead because
I know you're just going to let me down.
It is going to put Patty's going to come back fourth quarter. Very, very, very close. I got 31-27 Chiefs.
I really want to go with the Bills.
I do too. Believe me, I do.
I'm not convinced Mahomes can go out there and play to a high level at all with this injury, or with this concussion, whatever you want to call it. I don't think the toe is going to be a problem, but I do worry about him and where his head is at.
Yeah.
But I just haven't been that impressed with the Bills this postseason.
Yep.
They barely escaped Indianapolis. They scored 10 offensive points against the Ravens. I feel like I gotta ride with the Chiefs. I don't want to do it, but I feel like I have to.
Dude, you don't really have much of a choice because, I mean, dude, I get it, dude. They're not blowing teams out and shit. But dude, they just win every game. They always win. At the end of the game, they have more.
I'm still not convinced this team is gonna win the Super Bowl, though.
It's one of those things, dude, where until somebody.
Yeah, that's fair.
Until somebody beats them. I mean, it's not even like they were like 13-3 this year. I mean, dude, they got one team snuck up on them, division rival, got them, and they could have won that game pretty easily.
Yeah.
So they're the Warriors right now. They're 2016 Warriors right now. I gotta go.
Hey, they didn't win it that year.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, you're right. You're right. And you know who LeBron James is? Aaron Rodgers.
I hope. I fucking hope.
So we'll see, man. We'll see. But I gotta go. I gotta go to them. I hope. Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, I think Josh Allen might have like 80 rushing yards this game. I think he's going to run a lot.
I sincerely hope that they don't go out there and just try, like, throw every pass like they did throw every down like they did last game and try to match Mahomes. Like, I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yup, play your game.
So, NFC Championship time. I want you to go first again, James.
I will. What's your score prediction?
Oh, yeah. I'll go Chiefs. I think it's going to be fairly low scoring. I'll go Chiefs like 24-20.
Okay. Fair.
So, NFC Championship. I want to know your thoughts.
Listen, man.
Oh, by the way, Antonio Brown has not practiced this week. He may have practiced today after the media left, but when the media was there, he was not on the field.
He's a game time decision. I think he'll probably.
It's hard for me to not. I mean, it's the NFC Championship. It's hard for me to imagine he won't play, but if you haven't practiced, I doubt you're going to play.
How effective is he going to be? Exactly.
Yeah.
So the way I see this game is the last team that has the ball is winning.
Probably.
Last team that has the ball is winning. I think it's going to be 1, 2, or 3 point game. It's either going to be tied or somebody's going to be down by a point or two, and they're going to kick a field goal and win. This game is going to be low scoring too because it's cold. Tom's going to give it all he's got, but I got Packers 27-24.
I strongly.
Don't feel great about it.
I felt good until your pick just now. I strongly debated taking your approach to when the Eagles were in the NFC Championship against the Vikings. You were not confident in that game, and I think you went ahead and just picked the Vikings to win the game.
Yep.
I debated going that approach because I don't want to get my hopes up too much.
No, dude, listen. I would never in a million years take you thinking this Packers team is going to win the Super Bowl as like a bias. I mean, they look like a Super Bowl team. So it's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like you're just like, oh, I'm a Packers fan. So they legitimately are probably the hottest team in the NFL right now. So I don't think that's out of bounds to say.
So, like I said, I debated going that approach, but I listened to Aaron Rodgers and Pat McAfee, and all he said was confidence is sky high with this team. That he's incredibly confident, the team's confident, Matt LaFleur is confident, the coaching staff is confident. I mean, I think it just feels like everyone's on the same page in that aspect. So if they're going to be confident, I got to be confident in them too. I'm going to go with my Packers. It's nothing too scientific, nothing X's and O's wise that I think could be a difference maker. Green Bay, I think, Tampa Bay's playing very well. Green Bay's playing better, I think, right now. It's hard to win 3 straight games in the postseason on the road.
Yep.
If anyone can do it, it's Brady, obviously. But it's hard to do it. It's only happened 4 times. Hasn't happened in a decade.
Frankly, I think it's going to come down to how the Smith brothers do and if they can send Tom Brady on.
Well, that's the thing. Preston Smith doesn't play a lot. Rashawn Gary has taken over.
Okay, then Gary, my bad.
So that's the other thing. Rashawn Gary, since week 16, is the highest graded defensive player according to Pro Football Focus. He has come on strong. All right.
Yeah, I think that's what it'll come down to. How much pressure
We need to
the
get
Packers-
absolutely, and I think we can. Like, I wouldn't be shocked at all if we went out there and we do this sometimes on third down. Put Zadarius Smith in the interior along with Kenny Clark,
NASCAR package, baby.
and put Gary and Preston Smith on the edge.
Yeah.
I think that would work a lot. I don't think we can do that though because they'll just run the ball in that instance. But maybe second and long, third downs. That'll be the package, and that has to get home against Brady. Got to get off the field against Brady. But if Antonio Brown doesn't play, or just even if he isn't even effective, I feel very good because I think Jair Alexander can take away Mike Evans. I mean, he's done it all postseason. He took away, he's taken away the top guy all season. So then, if Antonio Brown's not playing, and Mike Evans can't get open, Brady's left with Chris Godwin, who has struggled in this postseason.
Yep.
A Gronk who's kind of washed up, and then
Honestly,
Cameron Brate, who really isn't a game wrecker.
Yeah.
So I feel pretty good about that, honestly. If they can stop the run and blanket Mike Evans.
I think most people would agree. That doesn't mean you pick them, but I think most people agree that if you just look at rosters right now, the Packers are the better team on paper. Yeah, for sure.
And I also have to, like I said the other day, it just seems like Green Bay has this game circled. Yep. When the matchup was basically announced or officially, they wanted Tampa, and a lot of players have made that clear. And not to mention, so I tweeted about it a bunch on Twitter, and I've been on Facebook and Instagram about it. Ted Thompson passed away last night. So,
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. I think he's a future Hall of Famer, former Packers GM. I think this team should be ready to go for that. They're going to be heartbroken. I know Aaron Rodgers is going to be heartbroken. He took a chance. He was his first pick. But there's a lot of Ted Thompson players. I think they are going to show up this weekend. I'm going to go Packers 27-20. 27-21, something like that. Okay. I think that's the other thing. Green Bay has done a great job taking over games these last 7 to 8 weeks.
No, they have. And frankly, I don't know how they're going to cover Devontae Adams.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I mean, Jalen Ramsey, I said this to you, James, it was supposed to be the guy that was take him away. He's not going to be a factor. I look at this Bucs team. Who's the top corner for the Bucs? Carlton Davis? Do you think he's going to cover Devontae Adams? I sure don't. We got to run the ball, though. We got to establish the run and make our presence known and control the tempo of the game. That's the way we're going to win. We've done it the last 8 weeks. I have no reason to believe we won't do it again.
Yep. That's the key here. That's the key to victory, Shane.
So we're both going to go with a State Farm Super Bowl.
Yep.
That would be very entertaining.
Yep. I need Aaron Rodgers showing that belt this
week. I want this so bad, James. Last year I didn't think I went into that 49ers game. I was like, we don't have a prayer of winning this game. We don't match up. This game though, I'm like, we match up pretty well. I know we got destroyed in week 6, but I say just throw that out the window. It doesn't matter at this point. But I'm like, I want this so bad. I want this so bad.
I want it for you, man.
I deserve this.
I have a few. Obviously, Artis is a Chiefs fan, and I got quite a few Packers fans, so I'll pull for them for you guys.
In the Super Bowl, if that's the Super Bowl, who are you going to cheer for?
I would say the Packers, just because I would rather Aaron Rodgers get a second than Mahomes right now, because Mahomes has a few more in him.
Oh, I know what else we forgot to talk about was Phillip Rivers retiring.
Oh yeah,
that was the other big news this week.
All right, this will be it. But I want to ask you, because I was on the fence until I saw one thing, and I said, you know what? Yes, he is. Is he a Hall of Famer?
So I have said this ever since my last year of college when I started my blog. I've always thought Phillip Rivers was a Hall of Famer. And I've said it on this podcast. Last year when Eli Manning retired, I said, if you consider Eli Manning a Hall of Famer, I thought you should consider the same thing for Phillip Rivers. I think take away Eli's Super Bowls. I know you can't really do that, but if you take that away, they have similar careers. I'd argue Phillip Rivers has the better career.
Oh, way better.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers was a legitimate top 5 quarterback for about 6 or 7 years.
I don't know about top 5, but he was like Matt Ryan. He was consistently in that top 10, top 8
I mean,
area.
He had a year where he led the league in touchdown passes. He had a league where he led the league in passing yards. He's top 5 in passing touchdowns and yards right now. Now, listen, I get that that's a longevity thing, but I think playing in the NFL for 17, 18 years is a strong case for your Hall of Fame case. You know what I mean? Like, I think playing in a league that long shows that you've sustained greatness for almost 2 decades.
It depends. I remember one time, I forget what draft it was. I watched this thing on NFL Network one time, and the number 1 overall pick never really lived up to the hype, but he played in the league for 13 years. So, like, he played a while, but was he really that good? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I'm going to tell you why the thing that teetered me to, yes, Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer. And I knew this, but then I saw the stat and I said, oh, shit. Phillip Rivers started every single game his entire career. Mm-hmm. Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer. Period.
Yeah, I've always argued he is. There are a lot of quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame that I'm not sure are deserving. The big one being Joe Namath. I don't think Joe Namath is a Hall of Famer. No. He won it. He's in it because he won a Super Bowl. But I look at another Chargers quarterback that's in the Hall of Fame, or who is in the Hall of Fame. Dan Fouts. If you had told me Dan Fouts was a Hall of Famer, I never would have believed you. Like, he just always struck me as a guy who was good, but not quite good enough for the Hall. And there he is in the Hall of Fame. Like, well, if he's in, Rivers has to be in. I mean, just the way it is.
I mean, that's just, people don't realize how absolutely.
Now, I will say this. Is he first ballot? No.
No, not at all. Not at all. I wouldn't put him as a top 20 quarterback ever, but I mean, it depends on what you look at for Hall of Fame. The way I consider Hall of Fame, I think you need to be a top, like, 6 to 7 player at your position for 7 or 8 years, and I consider you a Hall of Famer.
I don't know how the voting works necessarily. I don't think there's a number. Like, you can only vote for, like, 10 guys or something. Mm-hmm. Like, when the ballot gets to that point, or, you know, down the line, you can only vote for 10 or something like that. I don't think it's like that, but if it were, that would really hold me back to put him in. But if I just saw the name, like, I'd mark him in the Hall, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, like I said, I don't think he's a first ballot. I think he's probably going to be maybe 4th, 5th. Maybe not. He might be first ballot. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think he'll be
I don't think he will either. The guy that people are going to hate me for, but I think it's accurate, if Drew Brees retires, I don't think he should be. He will be, but I don't think he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Really? I disagree.
The dude's never won an MVP.
I know. So?
I don't know. I feel like
Big Ben's never won an MVP.
True. But I don't really think Big Ben's a first ballot either.
100% he is. What do you mean?
He won. Is Eli Manning a first ballot Hall of Famer?
No.
They have the same resume, pretty much.
That's not true. That's not true.
Granted, Roethlisberger's been to more Super Bowls. Eli won 2. Roethlisberger won 2.
Eli Manning has never, ever even snuffed the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL.
True.
His best year, he was probably 8th.
That's fair. That's fair.
He was
Roethlisberger was in that top 5 for maybe 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know.
And Brees was always up there. That's fair, I guess. Yeah. Not Brees'. It's really not Brees' fault that he played with Manning and Brady and Rodgers his whole career.
And that's what it was. That's what it was. I mean,
I suppose you've taught me into that. I probably wouldn't put him first ballot. I'd put him like second ballot, but that's me.
Yeah.
All right, my man. I'll let you go. A lot of good stuff today.
Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go. I'll be a nervous wreck all weekend. The closer we get, my heart's pounding. I was fine on Monday. Now it's Thursday, and I'm like, oh my God. If they win, I don't know what I'll do. I've said this to my dad before. If they went to another Super Bowl, my heart might give out.
I think they're going, bro.
I sure hope so. I deserve this. If they make it like that, I'm gonna write a blog post, and that's gonna be the title. I deserve this.
All right, brother. Talk to you later, man.
Later.